This week Seder, Shabbos Chazon, Parshas Dvorim. We can't understand it, or Churban Abayit. People which saw the Koinim b'avodosom, Levim b'shirom u'v'zimrom. They saw the Beis Hamikdash. They heard the Koinim. They saw the Koinim. Kibitzin teisetzora gemor b'vasa. They saw the Koinim coming in and out. They're playing with the organs, playing with the clarinet. Beis Hamikdash is Ashirus there, is rich. Person put korbanos, korban atomit, korban Pesach, Shlomim, Oilom, Yom Kippurim. We can't understand exactly what happened there, because now we're in Golos. Churban Bayis Rishon, the Yerushalmi brings down, they did 3 Aveis Chamuros. Churban Bayis Sheni, they learned Torah, they kept Maitzes, they did Komida Toivo, they were good people, they learned Torah, they didn't meet the Torah the Yerushalmi brings down, Komida Torah, they were Makpid, they gave Maitzes, but they loved money, and they called Soinim Zebozeh. Hatred to the other person. How can you have hatred? How can you have hatred? If you learn Torah, Lishmo, you have hatred. How did it come out? Elama, the Torah they learned, it wasn't Torah 100% Lishmo. Why? Because the Gemara being done in the Dorim, Pei Aleph or Medalef. Ama of the Torah, Ama Lama, Hayachuben Abayis. What happened over here? The Gemara being down in the Dorim, Pei Aleph, because they didn't learn Torah. Ama of the Torosi. They didn't berach b'Torah tchila. Why not? But they learned Torah. So the Rabbeinu Nissim brings down in the Dorim Pei Aleph, they learned Torah, but they didn't learn Torah lishmo. Someone which learns Torah lishmo, it's mashpia on the maisim of the person, how the person learns, and the person davens, and the person behaves what he does in life. If someone doesn't learn Torah lishmo, it's worth nothing. And what do? How do we cancel it? How do we cancel the sin of the Bayis Sheni? How do we cancel the sin of this generation of 2,000 years already? This person hates this guy, this person makpid on this guy, this person doesn't in the same shul, this person goes to the other, gives a box in the face. Why is it like that? Why do we see the sin on this generation? How can we mevatel the sinner exactly? So the Apostle brings down a Yirmiyah, Kol B'Roman Ishmo. Menashe was mamid tzelem beheichel. He took a tzelem, stood it up in the heichel. How many people held up the tzelem? 1,000 people. 500 from one side, 500 from another side. They held the tzelem with ropes and strings in order the tzelem should stand straight. The tzelem fell down. He killed every day 1,000 people. After Menashe was hamid tzelem beheichel, HaKadosh Baruch Hu had kas. Avram Avinu told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't have kas. Yitzchak Avinu came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and said, don't have kas. Yaakov Avinu came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu wasn't niriga. He stayed there, he came with the same kas. Rochel Imenu jumps in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and says, what do you mean, Rega HaKadosh Baruch Hu? What are you annoyed with? Why are you annoyed with these people? Why are you annoyed with Menashe that his mamit tzelem beheichel? Why are you annoyed with him? Which Rachmonis is more? Rachmonis of Boss of Adom, or Rachmonis of Melech Malchei Amlochem HaKadosh Baruch Hu? So it brings down, of course, the Rachmonis of Melech Malchei Amlochem HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What are you annoyed with? Boss of Adom. Yaakov Avinu worked for me for 7 years. 7 years, Yaakov Avinu said, Evodcho B'rochel Sheva Shonim B'rochel Bitcho Aktano. And came the last night, Yaakov Avinu took under the chuppah Leah. Hileah, 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 Hileah. They all sang Hileah, Hileah. So what's going on over here? And I gave someone over. And I was Moichel Leah. And I gave her Simone. And I was Moichel Yaakov Avinu. You are Kadosh Baruch Hu, you are our father, you have tinus. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, Rochel Imenu, B'schus Rochel Imenu, Kol B'Roman Nishmo. That's what's written in the Pasuk. Kol B'Roman Nishmo. Ni B'chit Hamrurim, Rochel Mevakel B'nei. B'schus Rochel Imenu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Mevatel, the Tzelem of Menashe. That's Bayis Rishon. What about Bayis Sheni? who can cancel the sinner? Who can cancel this whole Inyan of Sheni? So Rashi brings down the Parshas Vayechi that when Yaakov Avinu told Yosef Atzadi when he benches in, don't come with me and kindness. Before he said, Amalach Agol Oisi, before he benched him, Vani Bevoy Lecha, Vani Mipadan Arom is sitting in the Posuk in the beginning of Parshas Vayechi, Vani Bevoy Mipadan, Mesa Alai Rochel, Be'eretz Canaan, Bederech, Be'oid Kivras Eretz, Lovo Evros Vekwe Shom, Bederech Evros, He Beis Lochem. And I told you to bury Rochel, and I buried over there. Don't have kindness on me that I buried Rochel Imenu in Kiva Rochel in Beis Lochem and not in Moritz HaMachpelah. I did everything up here. Why? Because Nebuzaradan came out. I know he'll come out in the next generation, and Am Yisrael will have a place where to be. Rochel Imenu comes out, there she davens. That's what brings down the Rashi over here. Rochel Imenu does something lifnim Yishua Sadin. We do anything lifnim Yishua Sadin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I understand. I understand human beings. Last week we spoke about, 2 weeks ago we spoke about also Al Tal Shein Eved El Adoinov. He does something bad, Hashem knows about it. Don't look at him with a magnifying glass. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I understand. I understand the person. Rochel Imenu says, Yaakov Avinu gave me the simonim. I don't want my sister to be ashamed. I took the simonim and I passed it over to Leah, in order that Leah should not be ashamed. Mashe sunui alecha, don't do it to your friend. Imagine it would have been the other way around. The Yaakov would have worked for Leah, and Leah would have given something over to Rachel. What's sunui yourself? Don't do it to your friend. Rabbi Yaakov Endin brings down that Kamsa Bakamsa. That's his first story. And surely the Nakriot, the second story. What is Kamsa Bakamsa? He invited his friend and he came his enemy. And his enemy said, I'll pay for my meal. No. I'll pay for half the meal. He said no. I'll pay for the whole meal of him. When he said no, he took him by the shoulder, threw him out of the room. Vaishim, poor guy. It's his house. Of course you are balabos of your house. But 1 minute. Go into the feet. Go into the shoes of the other guy. How can you do something like that? How can you take him in public and throw him out? In Bush, you take Adom is there. That's the first story. The second story is about Shuli de Nagre. Shuli de Nagre is a carpenter in his Talmud. The carpenter needed money. He told the Talmud, I need money. So the Talmud said, give me your wife. Send your wife along. I'll give you your wife however much money you need. After 3 days, we asked, what do you mean after 3 days? What was it after 1 hour? We said before, maybe, that it took him 1 day to get there and 1 day to come back. So after 3 days, he told him, where's my wife? I didn't see my wife. Maybe it took 2 days. But after the third day, where's my wife? I said, why? I heard people played around with your wife in the street. So what shall I do? You have to give her a get. How can I give her a get? It's a lot of money. I'll lend you the money. How much do you have to need? $100,000? I'll give you $100,000. Give her a get. He gave him the money. He gave him the get. And who took him? He took him. Achza. Chosa gedoyle moed. How can you do a zazach? How can you do a zazach of doing this whole meisa? It's in English, in German, there's a word which says Gemeinheit. It's a achzoyas to do a zazach. To give a eitzet to your Rebbe and go against him, mamish. That's achzorius. That's what happened in Bais Rishon and Bais Sheni. Bais Rishon was 3 aveiros. To be mevatel the things going into the feet of the other person. Rochel Imenu, she went into the feet of Leah and she did something lifnim Yishua Sadin, which is mevatel the chumah of Menashe which was mamit tzele behechel. Bais Sheni, Nebuzaradan, after he killed 3 million people, and why did he kill 3 million people? Because the Chayanovi gave them Musa, and he told do tshuva shleima, and his blood was bubbling 210 years. The Nebuzaradan came in by Sheni, and he killed 3 million people, and he says, Zechariah, do you want me to kill all of them? The blood became quiet, and the gas stopped boiling, and Ava became who jumped in in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And why did Ani Bavoy mi Padan Aron B'Parshas Vayechi? Rochel Imeinu. Rochel Imeinu, which does something Lifnim Yeshua Sadin, she can be Mavatal anything. If we do something Lifnim Yeshua Sadin, the Gemara said in Bo Metzia, Lo Chova Yushalayim Shochu Apidin. Rashi says, Lamed Gimel Lo Medalef Bo Metzia, you have to go Lifnim Yeshua Sadin. If we go Lifnim Yeshua Sadin, we Mavatal the Kas and the Kinner and the Sinner and everything which is between Reuven and Shimon and the labor and this and that and everything. We go Lifnim Yeshua Sadin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us also Lifnim Yeshua Sadin. HaKadosh Baruch Hu understands us. He's with us. He goes with us in this generation. And we go Ba'ava, Va'achva, V'reus, one with other person. Then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be Shoichem B'Sochenu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be the Shechina back. B'Binyan Beis Hamikdash. Begula Shleima, we should be Zochazem Bezat Hashem, B'Shech Tzidkenu, B'Toich Rachamim, Chasodim, G'doylem U'Merubim, B'Mheiro V'Yomeinu, Omein V'Omein.